Good afternoon, everyone. I'm attorney Mawali Mel Davis. I am one of the co-founders of Let Us Make Man, and we are here to announce on April 6th, we will be here in Clayton County, and we have with us some tremendous brothers who have committed themselves to addressing the violence that we have seen in our community. Violence not just in Clayton County, but violence across Atlanta Metro. And so we have been committed for the last 18 years to serve, to help resurrect inside of our young men a sense of belonging that they need so that they don't want to destroy. And so we're clear that it's necessary and it's time that black men are focused and clear about that. And so I want to bring forward some of our hosts who are here in Clayton County. I want to first bring up our Vice Chair, Commissioner Davis, to come up and give us some words, to be followed by Solicitor General Brooks, and then we'll close it out with Brother Derek Bozeman.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, let me say thank you all for coming out. This is a very, very important and just instrumental task that these brothers of Let Us Make Man are undertaking. That's what this is about. It's about taking care of these folks And first of all, let me give a shout out to also our solicitor, as well as our juvenile court judge, Salvia Fox, for they just finished dealing with a graduate program of juveniles who have been arrested on gun charges. So that's where we're going. So I'm not going to take too much time with this weather. I want them to tell what's going on. But on April the 6th at Clayton, at the Performing Arts Center, I want to see us here. Begin to bring these young folks out here. This is what it's about. These young folks, many of them minus fathers, many of them just are in need of some love and a handhold. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So I thank you all for coming out, and let's begin to support our youth.
Indeed. Solicitor General Brooks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Charles Brooks. I'm Solicitor General here in Clayton County, and we want to extend a warm invitation to everyone to come out to the Let Us Make Man Conference April 6th at the Clayton County Performing Arts Center. There's no better time to end violence than right now. Not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. And so this conference is geared towards ending violence. The metro area has seen an uptick in youth violence, and so we want to address that by first talking to our youth, hearing what they have to say, and then coming up with a plan of action to ensure that the violence does end. Thank you.
Brother Derek Bozeman.
Let Us Make Man for 18 years have held a conference like this, and every year we get more concerned. When you look at the level of violence that exists, when you look at the dropout rates among our young people, not only are they missing out on the best part of life, they're losing hope. So we're in a state of emergency. More than anything, Saturday, April 6th, is about restoring the hope and confidence that there is a future for these young men and women. We want to dispel the myth. This is a conference intended for the entire family. Everybody's welcome. And so we'll be dealing with some very serious topics, understanding the mental health needs in our community. Gangs, cliques, and crews. What is driving our young people to, instead of driving them home, what is driving them into these very dangerous gangs and the situation they find themselves in? So we're here sound the alarm. And I always said in the African tradition, if the African elders, if the village elders don't stand up, then the village idiots will. And so what does that look like? It looks like the men who are standing with us understand we have a responsibility, not just to our own children and our own families, but we have a responsibility as community. So April 6th, we're saying all roads lead to the Clayton County Performing Arts Center. The seminars will feature some of the best presenters. We understand if we can just get them to a college or get them to another situation. We'll be talking about college and careers. The brothers have put up scholarship money, so you can come and get a scholarship from this program. But more than anything, we want to sound the alarm that it is no longer okay for us as men in particular to sit at home and watch what's happening to our families and our communities and be silent. Silent grant consent. If you're not speaking out, you're not speaking up, it means that you're in agreement with what's happening out here. We want to make it abundantly clear that not only do we not agree as men in this community, but we also want to be disruptors of what we see. So this conference is really a disruptor conference, and we want people to come and get the tools they can use to take back to their homes, take back to their neighborhoods, and take back to their respective cities. And so that's why April 6th is so critical and important, and that's why we stand out here today to let people know whatever you thought you were doing on April 6th, sit that aside and come and get these classes and these tools that we have to help us do a better job at raising this village that we say we're responsible for. Thank you.
We have any questions? We are here also, not only is Let Us Make Man here, we have other organizations who support work around young men. And that's what's important. What we recognize as Let Us Make Man is that we wanted to create a space where families could come, but other organizations who continually do the work. We have Brother Marty Monaghan here from the Black Man Lab. We have a number of other organizations that will be bringing their young people from their respective programs where we can all meet at Let Us Make Man. That's why it's so beautiful, so significant that we have this cross ability to build together as a community. And when they ask where are black men, here we are. We're here trying to do this work, and we're doing it together as a unit. So we thank y'all. Question.
So a lot of times I've seen these type of programs, but the kids who are really the kids making the biggest problems, they're not there. How do you get those people there?
We are reaching out to the judges. We've reached out. We're asking judges to direct the young people who are under their jurisdiction to come. We've done it before. We're asking again that if you are a judge, if you are a prosecutor in the Atlanta metro area, put those young people on a bus and bring them out. We have a master teacher named Kene Walker who can reconnect and help transform and change the mindset of some of the young people. Gabe Banks used to be he was the first prosecuting gang prosecutor. He can talk about, if you want to do this, here's where you're going to end up. And so we just need grandmamas, aunties, uncles, bring the children that you say, I don't know what to do with them. Those are the ones that we want in addition to our honor students, because we don't ever want to not pay attention to the students who have already shown that they are ready to go to college or start a career. We want to make sure we're supporting them as well. So there's going to be something for along the entire spectrum.
You've been able to identify just the root cause that gets these kids into this lifestyle that makes the streets so attractive that they turn to violence.
Well, also, too, we want to let you all know we've sent out a massive invite to Clayton County Public Schools, and they are going to be disseminating this information across the whole Clayton County area. So that's what we need. But this is not only for blacks. This is for people of color, for Hispanics. It's not just the black boys that are in trouble. We've got whites, Hispanics, Asians. They're in trouble, and we're asking you to bring them in. But what is the root cause going back? For me personally, it's we have failed these young men. We have failed these young men in not stepping up. It's like Brother Bozeman said, if we're not stepping up to do the right thing, then somebody else is. And so we've got to begin to take upon our responsibility to do what is inherently gifted to us to do.
One thing I want to ask you, there's a difference in different countries. In most cultures, when the male is born, after a certain amount of time, the male is taken away from the females. Here in the United States, that's not done. The males stay with the females, and this is why you sort of have this crisis. How are you going to address that?
Come on, Brother Bo.
You know, there are many things, and I talk about this often, and I travel in and out of Africa all the time, right? There are many things we brought from our African ancestry and our African lineage. And I tell people all the time that the strongest institution that we brought from Africa was family, right? And so when you understand the root cause, and as our brother was asking, what is the root? For a lot of us, the root is very different, right? When you talk about mental health, what we are dealing with is the remnants of COVID isolation. I'm very clear and transparent When I was sent home from work, I was depressed because I'm a social individual and I miss the social connection. We had children who were told to go home, and they stayed at home for 2 years in isolation. They were told to advance yourself on a computer. We know without a doubt, because the data is showing, the learning loss recovery is not catching up fast enough. And so now we have children going to school who are 2-3 years behind. And so when I can't follow the instruction of the teacher, then I do other things. So we are dealing with a multifaceted, multi-pronged issue. But in terms of the best thing that we can do coming out of cultural, understanding, is to call the family together. And so really, it is called the gathering. We are gathering our family together to say, what do you need from us? What do you need from us? And we're also saying there are some things that we do know very well. We know how to begin to look introspectively at our own mental health issues. We know how to teach, because every child can learn and every learning style is not the same. If a child was taught to sit in a wooden chair for 8 hours, under the Geneva Convention, that would be considered a war crime. So when you look at the best practices of education, it ain't about sitting in a chair and telling a child to be still. It's allowing that child to be free, informed, and let them learn at their style and their pace. And so we do understand, but I think the most important thing we can do is say that there is a storm out. And so let's call the family in the house on April 6th to talk about what we need to do. And again, now, this is our 18th annual. So Let Us Make Man, Black Man Lab, all these organizations, we're on the ground every day doing this work.
Indeed.
And so look, Nick and Giovanni said you can quit the struggle, but the struggle will never quit. So we're in it for the long haul.
Any reason why, Derek, why you guys are doing it here now, if you've been doing this for a while?
Well, here's the thing. We moved this conference around the state, and there are a couple of learnings that we got from doing Let Us Make Man. One is we started at Atlanta Technical College.
That's right.
And I sat back and watched about a 9 or 10-year-old. That's why we bring the young ones. Look in amazement when he was looking at the wall and saw all of these students who looked like him. And I asked them, what are you seeing? He said, I never knew what the inside of a college looked like. And I never knew that I could go, but I see this guy, and he could go. And so every year, the issues get different. Prior to 2020, we didn't know what COVID was. But some of these young men lost family members, lost grandmama, and they're still trying to process that. So we are going to come back as often as we can. It is our duty, our obligation, and our responsibility to point them towards something excellent. So any of these brothers standing behind us, the wonderful thing is you show up. You get to talk to the commissioner, you get to talk to the solicitor, you get to talk to the attorney, you get to talk to the brother who's running the nonprofit, you get to talk to the brother who's been in the gang. You get to talk to all of these brothers who's saying, if you need me, here I am. And I'm here and I'm ready to help. And what we say is pull the coat. Don't come out here and let all of this potential, all this knowledge, all of the history walk off and leave you. And so that's the importance of what we do, that we're saying we're available. You don't have to go look for us. We come in looking for you because we need you to be here. We need the mother who said, I don't know what else to do with this child.
What to do?
But to bring him to a place like this. We stand in front of here because we don't want them to go through them doors. And we're saying just bring them to us and let us figure out how to work it. Do we have 100% of the answers? Absolutely not. Do we have some answers? Yes. And we certainly have an example of something different that we can offer these young men. Whether it's scholarship money, this organization raised tens of thousands of dollars for young people who are trying to get to college. Because it's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay. And so that's our goal, to be available to these parents, grandparents, young people, and anybody seeking real help.
And I want to just close with something that a student, and Commissioner Davis was with us last night at Black Man Lab, and one of the students from North Clayton High School asked the final question of the night. And that question was, how do you become a better version of yourself? That's what this young man asked this group of men. We're all in the room, and this young man stood up with courage and said, how do you become a better version of yourself? If you come on April 6th, we'll help show you the way on becoming a better version of yourself, because we are all trying to become better versions of ourselves. So please bring your young people, show up, and know that when we have this kind of support from black men, there are hundreds of more brothers that will be there on April 6th, so that those young men, those teenagers can see that there are still some serious-minded black men prepared to fight for their community and to fight for them and to love them with all of our hearts. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.